Most people who visit the Daintree rainforest think they are standing inside a pretty patch of jungle. They are not. This rainforest is 180 million years old, and scientists are still finding things growing inside it that nobody expected to exist. When the plant families growing in the Daintree right now first took root, the world did not look anything like the one you know. The supercontinent Gondwana was still intact. Africa, South America, Antarctica, India, and Australia pressed together as a single landmass. The Atlantic Ocean did not yet exist. Dinosaurs had not yet reached the peak of their reign. That is the world these plants were born into 180 million years ago, and their direct descendants are still standing in that forest today. For comparison, the Amazon, the rainforest most people assume is the oldest on Earth, only formed in its current shape around 55 million years ago. By that point, the Daintree had already survived multiple mass extinctions and the complete breakup of Gondwana. The Amazon is, geologically speaking, a newcomer. The reason the Daintree outlasted all of it comes down to one geographic accident. The Great Dividing Range in northeastern Queensland acts as a wall, trapping moisture-laden air rolling in from the Coral Sea. The result was a stable, wet microclimate that held on even during the last ice age, roughly 20,000 years ago, when global temperatures dropped and most of Australia's interior rainforest gave way to dry woodland. The rest of the continent transformed. This corner did not. And through every one of those transformations, the extinctions, the ice ages, the continental drift, the eastern Kuku-Yalanji people were here. They have lived continuously inside this exact rainforest for an estimated 50,000 years. The name Daintree itself is less than 150 years old, given in honor of Richard Daintree, a pioneering Australian geologist and photographer who surveyed North Queensland in the late 1860s. The people who actually knew this place had their own names for every river, every peak, and every headland long before any outside map existed. Which raises the question the forest itself answers. What is still alive inside here that connects directly back to that ancient world? Before the Amazon even existed, the Daintree had already survived mass extinction. So did you know this forest was older than the Atlantic Ocean? Drop your answer in the comments below. Now, here is where it gets stranger, because some of what is still growing inside this forest should not exist at all. The king fern, still growing in the Daintree today, carries a lineage stretching back approximately 120 million years. Its fronds can reach up to 2.5 meters long, unfurling from a single root system that connects to a lineage older than the Daintree itself. Unfurling from a single root system that connects to a lineage older than the Daintree itself. Walking past one means walking past something whose ancestors were established on Earth before the supercontinent Pangaea had even finished forming. But the king fern, at least, was never lost. The idiot fruit was. Idiospermum australiense, one of the most primitive flowering plants known to science, found nowhere else on Earth, was first recorded from a single specimen in 1902, then effectively vanished from scientific knowledge. For nearly 70 years, researchers assumed it was gone. Then in 1971, a local Daintree grazier named John Nicholas found several of his cattle dead after eating an unfamiliar fruit. A government veterinarian performing autopsies on the cattle found large, unfamiliar seeds in their stomachs, which were traced back to Idiospermum australiense, alive, still fruiting, still standing in the same forest where it had always been. Scientists had simply walked past it for 7 decades without knowing what they were looking at. The plant produces the largest single seed of any tree species in Australia, roughly the size of a clenched fist, and it had been hiding in plain sight the entire time. That is the implication the forest keeps pressing on you. This is not a landscape that has been fully cataloged. Occupying less than 0.2% of Australia's total land area, it holds 30% of the country's frog species. Imagine a single patch of forest smaller than a postage stamp on a map of the continent, yet home to nearly a third of all the frogs hopping across the entire nation. The same forest holds 65% of the country's butterfly species and 40% of its bird species. A density of life so compressed that the forest still yields surprises to researchers who have spent careers inside it. The southern cassowary holds that entire system together. This large, flightless bird, carrying its own Gondwanan ancestry, disperses seeds of fruit that almost nothing else in the forest is large enough to swallow and pass intact. Without cassowaries moving through the understory, several plant species cannot spread at all. Only around 4,000 are estimated to remain across Australia, with the wet tropics population considered endangered. The archive is 180 million years old, still being written, and scientists have not yet read all of it. Subscribe if you want more of this, and watch the next video on screen.